Hey, AP Scholars, how are y'all? I love y'all and I miss y'all, and I hope that everybody is doing well and being positive in the midst of COVID 19. Just know I miss y'all. I miss being in the classroom with y'all, talking to y'all, teaching y'all, learning from y'all, working with y'all, getting on y'all. But seriously, hopefully you guys are making good decisions, good choices. Shout out to everybody who has been completing the distance learning, the learning from home assignments and information. Shout out to everybody who's been logging on to Instagram, Microsoft Teams, emailing their teachers, reaching out to their teachers. Um, don't forget, the end of the quarter is Friday, April the 24th. So please make sure that you are reaching out to your teachers, especially any teachers of any classes that maybe you weren't doing so well in before COVID 19 hit and we are, we're on punishment at home, break time. I'm just saying. But make sure you are being a scholar and again making good choices and decisions. Um, Shout out to everybody who's been reaching out, asking questions, whether it's through Microsoft Teams or emailing or texting or sending me messages through Instagram. I'm here for you. So, that being said, I wanted to make this video because some people have reached out and asked really good questions about the budget analysis project. And I'm so happy that those of you who have started the project are definitely loving it, learning, and growing from it because that was the whole point. And so make sure you remember that that's the whole point. It is for you to actually research and go through the process and be able to reflect. There are definitely times where you may not be able to give me an exact number, and that is completely fine. But again, the ask and the goal is that you have still done your research to get an idea or an estimate for a particular expense. So, first and foremost, I believe on the original packet, it says that the budget analysis project is due this Friday, April the 10th. But again, after meeting in teams and students reaching out, I'm going to extend that until 11:59 p.m. Well, let's go with Monday. I don't know why I was about to say February. Poor thing. Monday, April the 13th, 11:59, because Sunday is Easter. Although you can't go anywhere, hopefully you guys are eating good and able to spend some time with your quarantine family. I'm just saying. So we're gonna change that to Monday, 11:59, April the 13th. So that's the first thing. The assignment can be found under files in Microsoft Teams. So check there. Shout out to the students who let me know it was not there, but it is there. Very good. So first things first. So $48,000 is your yearly salary, right? However, $42,000 is the number that you'll actually be working with because that is how much money you have after taxes. So I gave you those two numbers so you would understand that yes, we get to see how much money we would make in real life before taxes are taken, and then you get to spend how much money you really make in real life once taxes and other expenses have come out. So that's number one. So your real budget is $42,000. Now, there are several different components to the project. So just so we're clear, understand that I'm asking you for a few different things. So the first thing is the draft paper, which is essentially after you go through the instructions, you'll see there's a paper that I have where it has like the expense, the amount, and the website that you use to, get your research from. So that's your draft sheet. That's as you're working through the process and figuring it out and you're doing your research and you're figuring out and you're saying, oh, I can go to Allstate or Geico or State Farm for car insurance. Oh, I thought I wanted to live in Northwest. However, I'm noticing that it's cheaper to live in Southeast for me to get a 2-bedroom or 1-bedroom versus a studio. So again, sorry, my laptop was about to go off. So again, that is the thought process and the reflection that I need you to be into as you're going through this process. So that's the draft paper. Then you're going to actually create your budget sheet. On the instructions, it does mention Excel. If you are familiar with Excel and comfortable with Excel, by all means, please get into it. Be great. However, because we're not at school and I'm not able to actually walk you through the process, You can create a table in Microsoft Word, or you can create a table on a regular sheet of paper neatly. Very good. And I'm gonna show you 2 examples shortly. But the first thing is the draft paper. The second thing is the actual budget sheet, if you will. The third thing is the questionnaire, which are the 3 questions, the 3 reflection questions found, I think, on the 4th page of the assignment packet, if I remember correctly. And the 4th thing is question number 4, which is the 2-page reflection. So again, 4 different components: the draft paper, the budget sheet, the questionnaire, and then the 2-page reflection. So let's see. Oh, please don't forget, once you've created your budget, right? Once you go through your rent, how much you're going to spend on your car and food and cell phone and so forth, please do not forget to add all of those bills up. You have to add up all of your expenses for the month. Then you're going to total it, okay? So once you've added up every single bill for the month, give me that total, okay? Now, once you have that total, you're going to multiply that times 12. You're going to multiply that times 12 because there are 12 months in a year, and you need to know how much money, if you have a budget for the month, how much money that would be for the entire year, because again, you know that you have $42,000 for the year to work with. So if you add up your monthly totals, multiply that times 12, as some of you have done already as you've reached out, and you notice that once you do that, the amount of money you will be spending for the year is like $56,000, then you know that you have to go back to square one, and you have to now edit and change your budget because you don't have that much money. You only have $42,000. So again, it's imperative that you, number one, add up all of your bills for the month and get that total. Once you have that total, multiply it times 12. Let me see what else I have on my notes. Oh, somebody brought to my attention, like, for example, student loans. Again, you may not be able to get exact prices for every expense listed on here, because to get your actual student loan percentage, there are definitely many variables that you have to consider, and you would actually have to first go through creating an actual page, an actual account and all of that. So what I'm asking you to do again for that, for student loans, do some research. Google what is the basic or average starting price that people pay for student loans coming straight out of college. For those of you who really know what college you want to go to, I would definitely encourage you to, for example, if I know I want to go to North Carolina A&T, and it's going to cost me $20,000 a year to go to A&T, multiply that times 4, that's now $80,000. $80,000, I would either divide that by 30 years or 15 years or 20 years, depending on how long you wanted to pay off your loan. Because in real life, there are different options in terms of the amount of years it can take you to pay off your student loans. Again, research some of those things just so you can understand the process and just so you can get an understanding of your options. But there should be an actual dollar amount there. We talked about it on Microsoft Teams for those of you who were able to join. For example, for a car, you have choices. You can either outright buy a car. Let's say you decide I'm just going to take $3,000 or $4,000 to buy a car outright. I don't want to pay a bill every month. That's fine. But then you would have to subtract that $3,000 from your $42,000. Versus if I am paying a car note, if I'm paying $250 every month, then I have the option, it'll be included and reflected in my monthly expenses. And that typically is something that people do when they're going to spend more on a car, $10,000, $15,000 versus $3,000 or $4,000. People tend to just buy that outright. So again, you have options. Make sure you're talking to your parents, your guardians, your older siblings, aunties, uncles, whoever, about their process and, you know, kind of what they go through. And of course, you can feel free to reach out to me as well. But again, the goal is that you are actually doing research and going through the process. Let me look at my next page. I definitely want you to be realistic. How much money are you spending on clothes and shoes and food and entertainment? Because again, if you get to that total and you notice that your yearly budget is giving more than $42,000, then you have to go back and say, oh, well, maybe I can't spend $300 on clothes. Maybe it has to be $50 a month, or maybe because you don't realistically buy clothes every month in real life as an adult when you have real bills to pay. So I'm just saying, again, be realistic. You might not have $500 for entertainment to go out to eat and go to the club and go to the movies and do this and do that. You might need to bring that down to $20, and maybe all you can do is go to the movies. You got to budget and prioritize. Remember, you're just now getting out of college. No one said you were 40 years old making $1 million and you was balling till you fall. So make sure you are thinking about that. I want you to actually look up apartments. Again, if you know that you're going to school in North Carolina and you know you're going to want to live in North Carolina versus coming back to the city, we be in the city. Look up how much it costs to live there. Or if you're going to school in Philly, look up how much it costs to live there. You have options. I want you to really take this time to think and reflect. What do you see your future? What are some of the things that you want? If you're going to trade school, your amounts may be different. But again, if you know you want to go to trade school, if you know you want to be a firefighter and it costs money to take the test or be certified, or there's a program or whatever, those are the amounts of money that I really need you to figure out and include in your budget. So again, you're asking yourself, what's the best price? What are your priorities? Again, maybe your cell phone bill can't be $100. Maybe you don't have cable. I don't have cable. I have internet. I'm just saying, I'd rather be out here eating dinner, or, it's 2020. You can get a Roku, a Fire Stick. I'm just saying. Figure out what are your priorities. And again, Google is your best friend. A lot of things that you may think to ask, I promise you can just put it in Google and a lot of this information will come up, or responses, or, whatever the case may be. I want you to actively research. And again, ask questions. These are now directions to me about what I need to now do. Clearly this would be posted to Teams. So I think that's all I got. Except for I do want to show you what I mean. I'm not trying to be difficult. I really just want you to reflect and learn from this in terms of, it's not that deep. You can simply create a chart like this. Now, of course, I use marker. Y'all know I love marker, but with pencil or pen or however you want to do it. But as long as it's neat, again, I'm not trying to be difficult. Or our favorite, we are more than welcome to, hold on so y'all can see. I feel like the light is, but yeah. And I made mine big, of course, so that you guys can actually see it. But again, not that deep. And don't try to cheat, okay? Because, excuse me, y'all know I'm out here looking terrible. Corona, COVID-19. Y'all know y'all teachers out here. Just pray for me. Anywho, I'm sorry. Don't try to cheat and look at my budget that I just showed you, which is an example, okay? And say, oh, Miss Hayes, you didn't have all of those other bills and expenses that's on this paper in your budget. That's because mine is an example. I did this already. I'm doing it every day in real life, okay? But I just wanted to give you an example. You are required to put down and account for all of those bills and to focus on the difference between fixed expenses versus variable expenses. Your fixed expenses are those expenses that are going to be the same every month. My mortgage is going to be the same every month. Ain't going to change. Versus entertainment. I don't spend the same amount of money, going to the movies or going out to eat or whatever. That's not a set bill. Your cell phone bill is going to be the same every month. So that's what we mean in terms of fixed. Your car note is going to be the same every month. Again, this information can be found in the Learning from Home packet, the first part under the budget analysis, again, found under Teams. We will meet tomorrow morning to discuss reflection, see where you guys are in this, any questions that you have. But again, like I told you guys on Monday, for those of you who were able to join Teams, it's a really good research. Meet us there. some questions you're not going to actually know you have until you actually start going through the process and you're starting to look up different things and all of that. So hopefully this helps. It gives you a little understanding of what the expectation is, what the thought process is behind it. And I do want you to be great, because COVID-19 or not, clearly one day real soon, because we are grown young adults. I'm just saying, you will be responsible for these bills, for whether COVID-19 like or not. So hopefully you found this useful, beneficial. Hopefully you are learning and reflecting, talking to your families. Hopefully this is something that, it's just a good time for you to talk to. We're not doing nothing but talking to our families and looking at them anyway. So let's talk about some good stuff. Allow this time to be the time that we are becoming our best selves. Use your time wisely. My entrepreneurs, those of you who want to start businesses, those of you who have told me about your business, what you doing with your time? Because I will not have sat up in this house this whole time and have nothing to show for it. So remember that, okay? Make sure that you are taking care of your mental health, your physical health, workout, Planet Fitness, free workouts, a lot of stuff that's free right now. Y'all know y'all love technology, stop playing. So make sure you're working out, you're writing, you're creating, you're doing whatever it is that you do, to stay in a positive place. So anyways, I definitely love y'all. I miss y'all. And again, reach out if you need anything. We will meet in teams tomorrow. The expectation, again, is for us to start going through the reflection process, just kind of talking about what we learned, questions we have, and bouncing ideas off of each other. So hopefully I will see you there. Hopefully you guys are continuing to be great. And let me see if you can see this up here. This picture up here, trust your dopeness. That's why I chose this spot to record. Y'all are dope. I love y'all. Continue to be scholars. Continue to be great. Reach out if you need anything. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Oh, and I got to say it one time. And don't be out here being weak. Be out here being strong in COVID-19. Be great.